Chapter 7, Lesson 4. Abolitionists. And this fits into expansion because the issue of slavery gets bigger as the states, as more states are added to the Union, and we have to decide whether the states will be slave or free, and this issue becomes hotter and more relevant to the Civil War. This is the handout that you should have. We're going to fill in just the left-hand side of it. We'll take care of the right-hand side in the next lesson on suffrage. These are two movements that fit together. If you're in favor of abolition, you're probably in favor of suffrage. These are two causes that go hand in hand. But we'll just look at the first half, the abolitionists. These are people who want to abolish slavery. It's in the name. They want to abolish slavery. And the term means to get rid of completely. It has the same root as, I believe, the word establish. Establish would be the opposite. You're trying to get rid of it completely, not reduce it, but you want it completely gone. They want the immediate freeing of slaves. That means right now. If something is right, if something is good, start doing it now. If it is evil, if it is wrong, if it is cruel, if it is inhumane, they're saying you should stop doing it right now. Obviously, the founding framers in the Constitution and the founding fathers through the Declaration of Independence, they kind of left this for future generations to take care of, and the abolitionists are saying that now is the time to stop slavery. The first one, Harriet Tubman, is one you may have already heard of. She's an escaped slave who escaped from her master. She actually was going to be sold by her master, and she prayed to God that the master would reconsider, would not sell her and break up her family. And she eventually, as it seemed more likely that she would be sold, she changed her prayer to, I hope my master dies, and Lord, please kill my master. And then her master died, and Harriet felt kind of bad about that, but that kind of sped things up and kind of guaranteed she would be sold. So she ran away with her two brothers. This is actually the widow of her master. Put out this ad in the paper. So $300 reward, run away for Harry, that was her brother, and Ben, and she was known as Minty. So she was 27 years old at the time. $100 reward for each if taken out of the state, $50 each if taken in the state. So it was much harder if they were out of the state to bring them back. But eventually Harriet had second thoughts and went back, or her brothers had second thoughts, and then she went with them. But eventually she ran away for good. She did go back. Actually, let me take care of this up here. She went back about 13 times to get more slaves. So she became known as Moses. If you're familiar with the Old Testament or the Torah, Moses, a person who led the Jewish people out of slavery. Harriet Tubman is being given this name as kind of, she is an American Moses, the one who leads people out of slavery, but she keeps going back and using a system called the Underground Railroad. Hundreds of enslaved African Americans to freedom along the Underground Railroad. Underground. You don't know about the railroad? Probably because it's so underground. So here she is as a little hipster. Right now, you might know underground to mean like underground music that is not yet popular, but whatever. So this at the time means kind of the same thing. It just means that no one knows about it. They're not burrowing. So these are secret ways. In fact, nearby to our school, we have a stop on the Underground Railroad. This is an illegal thing. This would be like any kind of modern-day smuggling. The slaves were treated like property, and so you have this system where you are helping steal somebody's property and get it away. So she is committing a crime. In the North, though, she will be seen by many as a hero. She will become a spy for the Union cause in the Civil War, so she will identify herself with the North. So Harriet Tubman led hundreds of enslaved African Americans to freedom on the Underground Railroad. Someone you might know less of, William Lloyd Garrison. William Lloyd Garrison was a writer in the North. I remember him with the Slavery is Embarrassing to William Lloyd Garrison. He wrote a newspaper called The Liberator and worked for the immediate emancipation of all enslaved African Americans. So this is a man who's using his freedom to write about the need to abolish slavery. These are some words of his. He wrote, "I am aware that many object to the severity of my language," because he is, in many people, thinking kind of a little harsh, a little blunt. So, "I'm aware that many object to the severity of my language, but is there not cause for severity? I'll be as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice. On this subject, I do not wish to think or speak or write with moderation. No, no. Tell a man whose house is on fire to give a moderate alarm. Tell him moderately rescue his wife from the hands of the ravisher. Tell the mother to gradually extricate her babe from the fire into which it has fallen. But urge me not to use moderation in a cause like the present? I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard. The apathy of the people is enough to make every statue leap from its pedestal and to hasten the resurrection of the dead." So this is a man who many people would see as kind of annoying because they don't want to think about this issue they've been living with for so long. So by the time he's writing, America has been 40 years as a country, and they're okay with slavery. They're just getting used to slavery, and America has been okay with slavery for long before that. Just as a country or as a colony, they've just gotten used to it, and he's there saying, no, right now, not someday, not when they're done, but right now. And William Lloyd Garrison eventually found Frederick Douglass found him, but he became friends with Frederick Douglass and helped Frederick Douglass find a way of expressing his voice. So Frederick Douglass is our next. He wrote the North Star newspaper, named for the star in the sky that has a fixed point. Harriet Tubman followed the actual North Star, not the newspaper, to freedom. That's the kind of, if you don't have GPS or a compass, the slaves would just follow a North Star as a guide to go north. Frederick Douglass wrote the North Star newspaper, named after that star, worked for rights for African Americans and women to better their lives. It's also worth noting that William Lloyd Garrison and Harriet Tubman were all at some point women suffragists. Like when the cause for slavery was after the Civil War running its course, they were in favor of the right to vote for women, which is what we'll look at next lesson. To kind of help you with that, I have a little drawing I have here of Douglass. So they're making the stars of Douglass into the it's going to be embarrassing, the Big Dipper, I think, and the handle would be the North Star. So Douglass and the North Star. And we'll do a little more detail with these guys in class, but right now, Frederick Douglass, William Lloyd Garrison, and Harriet Tubman. Underground Railroad, the Liberator, and the North Star. And we'll see you next time.